Okay, just doing my other video, and these mountains have been like totally raped and pillaged. Like, you see those lines? That's where they dug, and like on the sides, there's no life. Like, it's just dirt, just like no plants whatsoever. Of course, these things cave in and cause like deaths, human deaths, and so forth. Which, you know, I'm not a crier over people dying. I don't think death is a big freaking deal, besides the fact that we have to start over, and that kind of annoys us. But people that die aren't hurting. They're freaking joy-filled. They're like, oh, sweet, we're back in bliss, constant bliss. However, we come here for a reason. Like, we're in bliss all the time, you know, on the other side, and, you know, bliss is great and everything, but we like a little spice by coming to asshole village. Coming to rape and pillage land, where people just treat each other like shit. I'm just kidding. There's a lot of wonderful people, and everyone's doing really well, actually. Most people are super kind. Oh, interesting, freaking mind-blowing experience. Went to, well, first I had a healing session with a shaman that's like mind-blowing, because just like 2 or 3 days ago, I came to realize that, like, no, it was more than that, but like I posted about it 3 or 4 days ago. I realized several months ago, up to a year ago, that, like, because I was looking for a shaman to train me, but most of the humans that, you know, I come in contact with are, you know, contaminated in some way or another, and it ends up just feeling grossy. And I don't want, like, people to contaminate with human grossy stuff, right? So I decided, or realized, that I'm not supposed to have like a human shaman teach me. I'm being trained and taught by my guides. So that was a cool realization, and I was just like, yay, that's who my teachers are, and I feel them training and teaching me every time I go into that space where they're, you know, I can hear them, and I'm joy-filled, because, like, who better than source energy to, like, train you, right? I just want to, like, show you this epic view that I get to see, like, every day driving. Like, do you see what I see? Like, it's 360, like, freaking Gorgeville. And then on this other side, even these poor injured mountains, you know, they're still beautiful to me. It doesn't matter if they've been hurt and injured the way they have. I guess I'm going to keep it over here, because this is over here. I mean, so my, well, sagebrush brush is good. Anywho, so I did that. I attracted this awesome guy that was so sweet and did this training with me, and like, I just could feel like a lot of pressure and pain release, because I'm a spaz and I am holding on to a lot of stuff still, but I need my helpers to help me through. So I've been calling those people to me and just waiting around to see what comes along. I mean, not even really waiting, like, I'm just like, yo, this is what I want, universe, thanks, okay, peace out, and then I space out and forget about it. But I just trust my angels and my guides are doing their thing, and they'll bring to me what I need, and they always do. So they brought me the shaman, which was absolutely and utterly perfect. One of the things he told me was that I need to shut up. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job at being your student right now. He's like, you need to just be more silent so you can come back to that centered space. And I totally realized that, and reckon, you know, I actually had called that to me as well, because I was like, I need to shut the fuck up. And I realized that the reason why I overly communicate is because, like, people in society, and then, you know, in my family first, and then I noticed in society as well, are not communicating, and it drives me fucking crazy, because I see all the problems that are happening because people are not communicating properly. Like, enormous. Like, whoa, I may take it personal right now, but I'm not going to, because that's just whatever. The point being is people aren't communicating, and so I overly communicate, try to compensate for the lack of most people's communication. So I realized that there needs to be a balance coming place in that area for me. And right now is the time when that's happening, because I bring this beautiful man to be my healer, and he tells me this, and then, oh my god, no, like, okay, I hope you never hear this, I'm not perving on you, but you kind of are my dream guy, and I did dream about him a few days before, and it was probably a pervy dream, to be honest. I just, like, have this strong desire for a real man, like, oh, I want to know what that feels like. So it's going to be really fun whenever it transpires. But this man is in a partnership, and I totally respect that. Like, I honor women deeply, and I would never, like, it's not like that, okay? But, like, he's just, like, my ideal man. That, like, I dream of being a man like that. So, an awakened man, a spiritual man, someone that's going to vibe on my level, really get me, and I'm going to be able to speak my truth with him, and I'm not gonna have to teach him, he already knows. He knows more than me. Maybe he'll be my teacher. I don't mind that, and maybe he'll be my equal, or both, whatever. So, I mean, this man just represents, in addition to just being this cute little shaman that came and killed me and did a session with me, he also represents, like, my dream man, and my ideal human in general. So wow, what a gift. And then so that gave me preparation to calm down enough to, holy shit, what happened next. Oh my god, it was kind of awful and then, like, amazing at the end. I mean, overall. Okay, so I go with Bambi, my new best friend in Utah. I love her because, we vibe together, and it's really cool. So Bambi and I went to the hot springs so that she could do hypnotherapy on me, which I had no idea what that would be like. And I told her, you can't hypnotize me. I don't think I'll let you, because I don't fucking trust people. So I love people deeply, and I care about you all an enormous amount, even the, like, jerky ones. Like, I really do believe that everyone has, even the grossest, evilest ones, they have a little tinge of something inside of them that can spark and transform them into this delicious, delightful, sweet, kind, loving human being, right? That's just what I know in my heart. And I know that there's, really evil, grossy people, and it's extremely difficult, but I mean, even that little tiny ember that's way deep in there, I just believe that the most angriest ones, this is what I believe, that the most angriest, meanest, cruelest, evilest ones are actually the most sensitive and sweetest hearts. And they're just broken. They've been broken by shit that's not their fault. And I'm not going to punish them for that. I'm not. But it is really tough when they're being their meanie selves to me. Like, fuck. Like, why do you have to attack my way of being? Like, I fucking like being weird. Like, weird, which means different, right? Like, I like just being me, which happens to be different. So I go with Bambi to the hot springs, and I was just hoping it would just be she and I, but, like, I guess, I don't know if the friend just randomly contacted her, or for whatever reason she felt inspired to invite this other fellow. So I was like, okay, well, whatever, she can do her hypno thing on me with him here, it's fine. But I kind of, I wasn't loving it, I was resisting it a little bit. And then, well, her friend Dave brought his friend Rick. And I had my back to Rick, and I could feel, like, negative vibes coming. Like, I could feel something draining me, but I didn't blame it on anyone. I just thought, well, maybe I'm tired, or I don't know what the hell. I didn't know what the hell it was. So, after a while, Bambi and I were like, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, my shaman teacher, I was disobedient. I was blabbing a lot. But Bambi, it's her fault. She's too entertaining and amazing. Like, she gets everything I'm saying. Like, I love it. So, anyways, okay, so this is now what's going to be in front of me, which is freaking gorgeous. So I wish you could see it to the level I could, or that I can. Anyway, so that's the Great Salt Lake, that little shiny flat spot that you see at the bottom. It has the dirt thing. Anyway, it's really pretty. So, Rick all of a sudden blurts out in like a kind of, like it could have been meaner, but it also could have been way nicer, but in like a really meany way, like to basically just to like, can you guys shut the fuck up? And of course I didn't love the way he said it. Like I was like, I mean, what my programming told me to say is, well, we got here first, so we're gonna talk and you're gonna just deal with it. Like get some earplugs, or, you know, put your head under the water so you can't hear us. But I knew that if I said that, it could potentially cause negative energy from him, and then, you know, then there could have been arguing and an escalation. You know, maybe he would have said something back, and then maybe I would have felt like I needed to further say things. I don't know, whatever it was, but I didn't do that because that's not where I want to go. Like I didn't go there to fight with some dude, like some disconnected dude. No offense, dude, if you ever heard this. But and then of course I want, like I made a goal of mine as a really long time ago, but like a real dominant priority to like there's no fucking around anymore, that like my primary objective, and I mean, you know, this is like a goal to get there space, right? So like I'm not like perfect at it, but that's my intention, to get perfect at it. And so when Rick said that, I said, oh yeah, sure, that's cool, you know, we can honor that. A little silence sounds nice right now anyways, because I said, well, you're not the first person that's told me to shut up today, so, you know, I can't entirely dismiss what you're requesting. And I wanted to say, but I didn't feel like it was the right thing, so I didn't. I wanted to say, you know, it just would have been great if you could have said it nicer to me, or to us, you know, say it nicer. But it just didn't feel right. Like he was way too pissed off. Like he had been sitting there wanting to tell us to shut up for a while, right? Like he waited too long to communicate. So like if he could have just communicated initially when he was starting to get annoyed about it, not in a bossy tell people what to do kind of way, but just like in a request way. Like, hey, like I am really feeling like silence. Is there any possible way that y'all could feel that with me? You know, maybe just for 15 minutes or whatever. Like, if he would have said it that way, it would not have triggered me in any way, shape, or form. I would have been like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like, hell yeah. So, you know, we need to learn to be nice when we request things. Like, don't wait so long till you're infuriated and want to rip people's faces off, right? And I'm not saying this in a judgment way. I'm saying this in a, I've done this so many times, it's embarrassing way. So I know it's a terrible idea. So that's Antelope Island. It's a like kind of, it's a touristy place, not kind of, a totally touristy place that people go to at the Great Salt Lake. So I've never even been there, but I want to go because it must be pretty great. It's a good way to go there. But yeah, so we handled the Rick situation really well, and I was definitely triggered, but I kept it to myself, and I just put my head underwater, and I just breathed, and I breathed, and I breathed, and it really didn't even seem like that long, but I stayed under there, and just like chilled out my vibration, because I'm like, Rick doesn't need to trigger me. Like, he obviously waited too long to tell us to be quiet, so it came out in a meany way, but I'm sure he's a nice person. He's probably overly stressed, you know, and it's not okay for people to take their stress out on each other, but we don't all have mad skills to manage situations, okay, and we all have our weak areas, and we can all be compassionate towards each other, you know, it's really important if we want to have a peaceful planet. And so I was compassionate towards that. It's just that it did kind of put me vibrationally in a funk. But that has nothing to do with Rick. That has to do with me, right? Like, why am I triggered? Because I don't like people telling me what to do. Oh, yeah. fuck you, bitch. Don't tell me when to shut up. Oh, I will shut up when I want to. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like people being dicks and bossy with me. Like, if you want me to do something, be incredibly sweet and do it as a request, not a command. I like talking about heavy shit. So, you know, like, people that are around me, like, need to be able to handle that, or just let me know in a nice way that, you know, I really don't enjoy this conversation. It's triggering me, like, it's upsetting me, it's boring me, and is there any possibility we could shift the conversation to something else? Which I'm thrilled to do, because I don't want to kill other people's vibes. Like, another person's vibe killed means vibes are being killed, right? So, if my intention is to raise the vibration of Earth, then I can't fucking be, you know, reacting to my triggers and making other people's problem. My triggers are nobody's fucking problem, mine, right? Nobody else's job but mine. So I wasn't gonna make it Rick's problem, but Rick happens to be a very worldly man. You know, he's very much into society and so forth, and he is basically. Yeah, he was a trigger for me because he's like everything that I don't like about society, right? Like, he represents and abides by. But I don't really care about that. Like, I love all people. Society, people are into society, people are not, people what. I don't give a shit. I give a shit about humanity. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to bust your butt to make millions of dollars so that you can buy a bunch of crap and that's your goal and you want it, well, that's great. I don't care. If that's your true passion, I support you and facilitate you in that in the best of my ability. And I'm here to help you be as peaceful and joy-filled as possible so that you can bust your butt, right? You're going to have more to give if you learn how to take care of yourself a little bit more, and you'll actually be a lot more abundant, and you'll be able to accomplish, like, instead of making 1 million, you're gonna make 5 or 10 or 20 or 100 or whatever. Like, you're gonna make so much money, it's gonna be coming out of your friggin' ears if you follow my advice. Because you know what, I'm not ruled by money. I don't give a shit about money. Like, you're not gonna impress me with money. However, I love money because in this world we use it to buy shit that we like and want. Like, I can help people with money. I have a ton of, like, if I have $100 million, my fantasy is to go over a city and throw it down, shower the city down with $100 million. Like, throw it all out of the airplane. Not out of a rejection of money, but as a gift to my community, because I know the number one thing that stresses the hell out of people is not having enough money to buy their shit. Or, you know, just pay the gas bill, which you can totally live without gas, you guys. But when you don't know, when you don't have the skills to know that, then it really freaking stresses you out. So, I mean, can you imagine the level of bliss that would bring to that community for maybe even like a month or 2 months or more? Maybe it could be a while, and then good feelings just bring more good feelings because it's the law, right? It's the law of attraction. So, people are so nice to me because I'm always nice to them. Like, being nice, so worth it. Okay, but I'm not talking about being a pushover. I'm talking about you're clear and you're just being kind about it, right? So, you know, I'll set my boundaries with people very kindly, but they're set. So Rick had his way with us. No, I'm kidding. He told us to shut up. We respected that and gave him a moment of quiet. We didn't call him on being a dick in that moment because it wasn't the right time. And then, in the end, what ended up happening is mind-blowing explosions of holy shit, what? Well, Rick left happy, and after we had our 15 minutes, he's like, see, didn't you love that? And we were like, yeah, thanks so much for getting us to be quiet, and I'm home now. And I could see the torment that it was for him to need to, like, control his environment so he could feel good. So I just wanted, I wanted to say something, but it had to be subtle, and it had to be short. And he wasn't going to hear it really today, but maybe he would reflect on it and hear it eventually. So I just told him, I said, well, mean, to be honest, it didn't really, it didn't really bother me because you asked for us to be quiet, and then once I was quiet, I was actually enjoying it, and it felt really good, and then I was grateful that you had asked me to be quiet, which isn't entirely true. Yeah, I was triggered, but the purpose of what I was telling him that for didn't need me to have that full disclosure, because what I was trying to tell him, trying to find the words to tell him, is that I said, but what does hurt me is that I could see how much it was hurting you, and I can't remember how I said it, but I just basically said, we can't control our environment to always please us, but we can control what we do about it within us. So he was complaining about dogs and people that bring dogs, and he was going on and on about that. So it's okay, well, you can try to control every dog owning person, or you can decide to be okay with the dogs. That's basically what I was saying to him. And because to not do that is hurting Rick, right? It's not hurting really anyone else. If we would have allowed his negativity to affect us, then it would have affected us. And it did zap me a tiny bit for a minute, but I breathed it out. I was underwater, and then I discovered really cool things. So it ended up being this enormous blessing, this jerky guy, right? And then, so I said, I feel bad because I can see how it negatively is affecting you. And then, of course, he's like, nah, you don't need to do that. And I was like, well, I don't need to, but it's just what I automatically do. And so that's the only area of concern, I told him. So anyways, he was super cool at the end, and he thanked us. Well, he did call us witches. He was trying to kind of undermine us, but we basically ignored. I just said, I don't know what that is, because I didn't want to get into it with him. And Bambi did say some clever, brilliant thing, but she's wiser than I, so I let her take care of that business. And the point is, he left happy, or the end of the story is that he left happy. He was grateful. He was in a positive vibration. And then his wife was happy and grateful as well. And she complimented, she was like, oh, you're very pretty to both of us. And whatever. She was very complimentary, and I appreciated that. And I just, it was a very learning experience, because both Bambi and I were triggered, but we both took the right action. We both shut up, and we honored and respected this man, because we're not here to one-up people. We're not here to be ruled by our egos, right? We're here to be healers and teachers. And so Rick was our teacher as well. He was helping us become better teachers. And we were his teacher by being just nice to him, right? We weren't a teacher, but we were just holding a space for him. Maybe a teacher too, I don't know. But we were just even though you're being a dick, we know who you really are, and who you really are isn't a dick. And we're gonna get that you're in a bad mood right now, that you're stressed out for whatever reason. We're not gonna make that worse by calling you out on it. That's not what's gonna end with the end result that we're after, which is a joy-filled Rick and a joy-filled us, right? So if we would have called him on his shit, it would have been this screaming match possibly, or some annoying thing that would have just amplified the negative vibration on Earth, fed the negative demons that are freaking destroying our Earth right now, and defeats the entire purpose of what Bambi and I are about. And then we would have beat ourselves up about it for weeks, days, hours, months, year, who the freak knows how long. And so had we gone there, we would have been pissed off at ourselves. So then we would have been Rick would have been in a negative vibration. We would have been in a negative vibration for potentially years over one little incident. So freaking yes, we killed it. We didn't get triggered. We didn't give in to our triggers. We did get a little triggered, but we didn't give in to our triggers. We breathed them away. And then we were loving and kind to Rick anyways. And when he, you know, suggested that his idea was good, we agreed with him because it was. We just didn't let our ego dominate that space. So it freaking was amazing and mind-blowing explosions and other stuff. But that was the main thing. And now I'm home and I'm going to take my boys to jiu-jitsu, and I'll be recording that too because for our vlogs. Anyways, peace out. Love ya. Mwah.